I don't know why I'm doing this because I haven't actually put the music on this video yet. I did get a copyright claim on one of my videos for the music. That's actually the title music for Warzone 2. So I now drop music underneath and I haven't decided which one I'm waffling. My name is Vinny Voodoo and today we're going to be talking about the firing range, and it's actually probably a little more useful than you've given it credit for. So without further ado, let's go take a look at the firing range in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. So where is this alleged firing range? Well, in the case of DMZ, it's under active duty. Pretty much everywhere else, it's under weapons. So I'm going to go into plunder, and you'll notice at the top where it says home and battle pass, a couple of new options will be squeezed in there, one of which is weapons. We go there, and here we can change our loadout, do the gunsmith and so on, and to the right of that is the firing range. Before we go any further, it is worth noting that once in the firing range, we can't change individual loadouts. We can change to a different loadout, but the actual contents of each individual loadout are locked in place. So if I select loadout 1, I can't change loadout 1 here. I have to back up and go out. That's okay, it's a little thing, but it is what it is. You can also select your aim assist here if you're on a PC. You may not have this option if you're on a console. You will certainly have it under settings, advanced aim assist. I haven't really seen the difference really massively between default, precision and black ops, but I do see a big difference in focusing. So what is aim assist? Well, it's not lock on like it would be in a single player. If I go to the slightly to the left of the dummy, it won't lock on to the dummy. It's exactly where I'm pointing. What it does do is slow down your pan either vertically or horizontally when you get within a certain range. So if I move across here now, watch what happens. It kind of slows down and then jumps back out. That's not me slowing down, that's the actual option there. And the same vertically, if I'm down here, it will slow down slightly and then speed up. It's almost like a little bit of glue that glues you in, but it is handy to have that so you don't have to go and try and test this in the individual game modes whilst there's live players. Now you might notice they're moving around. Well, it depends where you're standing. They don't move permanently. It's not a carnival game. Wherever you stand in one of the 3 slots here is where they'll move to and then just stay there. Now these individual slots actually have a purpose. This one is sort of a free-for-all. If you've got yourself a rocket launcher and you want to go prone, you can do this without being impeded by a desk. And by desk, I mean this bit here and this bit there. This is actually so that if you want to go on your knees, you can actually mount your gun, as I've done there, and test out whether mounting is something you want to do. Funny enough, it's much more pronounced with the focus and aim assist there when you're actually mounted. This one here is if you want to mount whilst you're standing. So these individual areas here actually have a purpose to test the weapon out. The things I'd like to test is, for example, spread and accuracy, but really you don't leave bullets when shooting the dummies. You actually just, they fall over. This isn't like in a real firing range where you'd have a piece of paper with a target on it on a fishing line that would come towards you. But there is a way of doing it within this game that actually is handy within the firing range here, using this grey area here and this door here. So let's take a look at that. Oh, before we do that, I just want to mention something I forgot as I'm looking back over the footage I've just taken, is there is a new option where you can add armor plates to the dummies. This seems to have been introduced in the mid-season update of Season 4. You can now take a shot at the dummy, then add armor plates to see if hollow point, frangible, stopping power and stuff makes a difference in your particular weapon. And I can show this. I have 50 rounds in this particular mag, and watch how many it takes to take this guy down. That took 7 rounds. Now, I'm going to put 3 armor plates on him as he rises back up from the dead there. We just took 7 rounds. Let's see how many I'm going to try and be in the same spot. That took 17 rounds. So you can actually try out different options. Again, you have to back out, unfortunately, to actually change your ammunition type. But at least you can do that now by pressing start and going to dummy settings and actually adding the number of plates that you want on the dummies to test out different ammunition types. Anyway, back over to this door. So why are we looking at this door? Well, this is actually kind of handy. We can get an idea of spread, vertical and horizontal recoil by simply shooting this door. It may seem obvious, but there isn't really anywhere else to do it in the firing range. So I'm just going to stand here, no ADS, and just aim at the top of the door. Let off about 10 rounds. There we go. So that gives us a spread about the size of a head. So I'm going to get on my knees now, and now ADS, and we'll see the difference between the spread now. Not bad at all. You couldn't really tell that I've just taken 8 shots, could you? And again, you can do it as prone as well. So if you want to use this door to get an idea of spread, you can do so. Now, in terms of horizontal and vertical recoil, I find this grey thing here handy as they slide around in the background. What I'm going to do is use this little white dot here and move across horizontally as level as I can at a fairly consistent rate. I'm going to do it first standing up with no ADS, then I'm going to do it kneeling with ADS, and then finally I'll do it prone with ADS. So let's see what the kind of spread that I currently have here. Okay, as you can see, there's an entire person gap here. So if you've ever thought, well, I shot you, well, maybe you didn't, because that's the kind of spread you can expect panning across as you're shooting a bad guy with this particular gun and this particular setup that I have. Now, let's say I was shooting the same guy, but I was on my knees and ADSing. And again, I'll try and keep it at more or less the same speed. You see, he would have got at that point compared to that point. So I'm using the little stickers, I guess you could call them, the bullet holes, to actually gauge how well this gun works. And it looks like I've got a little bit of a vertical drift. I know that it kind of goes upwards. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not actually moving the gun upwards, but there is a little vertical drift on this particular loadout setup that I have, which I may want to address. So this is why I use this door to do so. I'm just going to try letting off a few and see if it goes up. I'm not even going to touch the right stick. And look at that. You can clearly see that I need to start aiming at their mid rift to try and get a headshot. Otherwise, I'm going to be shooting over the top of their heads. Again, just with this particular loadout that I have on this particular weapon, which is a rather nice little weapon. Let's take a look at that. So these are some tips that you can use for the firing range. And of course, one of the things that you may be asking is, okay, I've made a complete mess of the firing range. How do I fix it? Because if you actually back out of the firing range and go back in, it's still messed up. As we'll see here. There, you can still see the shots. Well, you have to back out all the way. So we'll leave the firing range. We will go back 1 and then 2 and then 3. So we're on home and we no longer see the word weapons. And now if we go back to weapons in plunder in this particular case and back into the firing range, it'll be all spanky new and clean with no bullet holes. So you don't have to actually quit the game to get rid of all the mess that you made in here whilst testing out the weapons. Okay, let's back out and sum up. There we go. It's actually quite useful. And I have actually genuinely fine-tuned this weapon using the firing range here, depending on which type of game I'm going to play. Because obviously, if I'm playing DMZ, I probably want a different loadout than if I'm playing Plunder, and so on. But I hope this has been of use, and if you have a tip for the firing range, let me know in the comments. And if you've got any questions, also ask them there. Okay, I think I'm done. I will just listen to the music a little bit. And I'll just leave you with the fact that my name is Viddy Voodoo. Thanks for watching.